My mom was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke in a soft voice. Catherine, sweetheart, we never meant to hurt you. I closed my eyes. Mom, they called my daughter that condition. They talked about sending her away like she was not a real person. They talked about her while she was sleeping upstairs. The line became silent. I could hear my mother breathing. Finally she said, we were only worried about the family's reputation. I looked across the room. Lily was sitting on the couch with a coloring book. She was carefully coloring a butterfly purple and blue. She is my family, I said. Then I ended the call. For the next few days, my phone would not stop ringing. Dad called. Ethan called. Vanessa called. Aunt Sarah called. Uncle Richard called. There were dozens of text messages. Some people were angry. Some people wanted answers. Some people acted like they were the victims. I ignored all of them. For once, I chose peace. Lily and I stayed focused on our own lives. We watched cartoons together. We baked chocolate chip cookies. We read bedtime stories every night. We laughed more than we had in months. Without my family's constant judgment, our home felt lighter. Lily seemed happier too. One afternoon she looked up from her toys and smiled. Mommy, you're smiling more now. Her words surprised me. Am I? She nodded. Yes. I like it. I hugged her tightly. Sometimes children notice things that adults miss. 3 days later, there was a knock at my apartment door. When I opened it, I found my father standing there. He looked different. His expensive suit was wrinkled. His shoulders looked tired. For the first time, he seemed much older. May I come in? He asked quietly. I stepped aside. He walked into the apartment and looked around. The apartment was small. The furniture was simple. There were toys in one corner. Books on another shelf. Lily's drawings covered the refrigerator. Nothing looked expensive, but everything felt warm. Everything felt loved. Dad slowly walked through the living room. His eyes stopped on a picture Lily had drawn. It showed a little girl holding hands with her mother under a bright yellow sun. She made this, he asked. Yes. He stared at it for several seconds. Then he sat down. Neither of us spoke for a while. Finally he cleared his throat. Is what your mother said true? I knew what he meant. Yes. You really sold your company? Yes. For $200 million? Yes. Dad leaned back and shook his head. I don't understand. What don't you understand? Why didn't you tell us? I looked at him carefully. The answer was simple. Because nobody asked. He frowned. What does that mean? It means all of you already believed you knew everything about my life. Dad looked away. I continued. You saw an old car and assumed I was poor. You saw a small apartment and assumed I was struggling. You saw me wearing simple clothes and assumed I was failing. You never asked questions because you already had your own story. Dad sat quietly. I could see the truth reaching him. The company sale was all over business news, I said. The acquisition was discussed everywhere in the technology industry. His eyes widened. You're serious? Yes. How did we miss it? I gave a sad smile. You weren't paying attention. Neither of us spoke. The silence felt heavy. Then Dad rubbed his forehead. The estate is in trouble. I know. The mortgage payment stopped. I know. Your mother's doctors are demanding payment. I know. Your uncle's treatments are at risk. I know. Each answer became shorter. Dad looked embarrassed. For years he had spoken to me like I was irresponsible. Now he understood the truth. I had been helping everyone. Quietly. Without asking for thanks. Without asking for recognition. Why? He finally asked. Why what? Why did you help us after everything? I thought carefully before answering. Because I loved my family. His eyes filled with regret. I continued. When Mom needed specialists, I paid. When your business struggled, I helped. When Uncle Richard needed treatment, I paid. When Aunt Sarah needed medication, I paid. I did it because I cared. Dad looked down at his hands. They never told us. I know. You never told us. I didn't want credit. He nodded slowly. Then he whispered something I had never heard before. I'm sorry. The words shocked me. My father almost never apologized. I should have treated you better, he said. I should have treated Lily better. I felt tears forming in my eyes. Years of pain could not disappear with one apology. But it was a start. Before I could answer, Lily walked into the room. She was carrying her favorite stuffed rabbit. When she saw Grandpa, her face brightened. Grandpa! Dad smiled. Hello, Lily. She ran over happily. Do you want to see my drawings? Dad laughed softly. Of course. Lily hurried away and returned with a large stack of papers. For the next 30 minutes, she proudly showed him every picture she had drawn. There were dogs, cats, flowers, rainbows, castles, dinosaurs. Dad looked at every single one. He listened carefully as she explained each picture. I watched quietly. It was more attention than he had given her in years. At one point Lily climbed into his lap. Dad froze for a second. Then he wrapped an arm around her. Something changed in his face. Maybe for the first time, he stopped seeing her illness. Maybe he finally saw the little girl herself. After Lily went back to her room, Dad wiped his eyes. She is amazing, he said. Yes. She always was. He nodded. I missed so much. You did. There was no anger in my voice. Just the truth. Dad stood up to leave. At the door he paused. I don't know if you can forgive us. I answered honestly. I don't know either. He nodded sadly. That is fair. Then he left. The following weeks brought many changes. The family estate was eventually sold. It was a huge house that had been in the family for decades. Everyone thought it would stay forever. But without my financial support, they could not afford it. My parents moved into a smaller home. It was comfortable but much less impressive. Ethan had to reduce his spending. He sold one of his luxury cars. Vanessa stopped hosting expensive parties. For the first time, everyone had to live within their means. Some family members blamed me. Others began looking at themselves honestly. One evening, Uncle Richard called. His voice sounded nervous. Catherine? Yes. I owe you an apology. I remained silent. I said terrible things about Lily. His voice cracked. She didn't deserve that. No, she didn't. I was wrong. For the first time, I believed he truly meant it. Thank you, I said. A week later, Aunt Sarah called. Then Rachel. One by one, some family members admitted their mistakes. Not everyone changed. Vanessa never apologized. She insisted she had only been telling the truth. That was her choice. I stopped trying to change her mind. Months passed. Lily continued her treatments. Some days were good. Some days were hard. There were hospital visits, medicine schedules, doctor appointments. But there were also birthday parties, movie nights, trips to the park, ice cream dates. We made as many happy memories as possible. One afternoon, Lily and I sat together on a park bench. The sun was shining. Children were laughing nearby. Lily held my hand. Mom. Yes, sweetheart. Why don't we visit Grandpa's big house anymore? I smiled gently. Because Grandpa moved to a different house. Oh, she thought for a moment. Then she asked a question that broke my heart. Are people still mad at us? I looked at her. Her eyes were full of worry. She was only 7 years old. No child should have to wonder if people are angry at them for existing. I knelt beside her. No, sweetheart. Really, really. She smiled. Good. Why? Because I like our family. I laughed softly. What do you mean? She pointed at herself. Then she pointed at me. Us. My eyes filled with tears. For years I had been trying to earn acceptance from people who should have loved us without conditions. I spent years helping them, supporting them, trying to prove our worth. Yet my daughter understood something much more important. Family is not about money. It is not about fancy houses. It is not about expensive clothes. It is not about status. Family is about love. Family is about kindness. Family is about staying together when life becomes difficult. I wrapped my arms around Lily. She hugged me back. Mom. Yes. Will we always be together? Always. She smiled. Good. Then she ran off to play. I watched her laugh as she chased bubbles floating through the air. For a moment, nothing else mattered. Not the money. Not the arguments. Not the family drama. Only Lily. Only the little girl who had taught me what truly mattered. That evening, as I tucked her into bed, she looked up at me. I love you, Mommy. I love you too. More than ice cream? I laughed. Yes. More than cartoons? Yes. Her eyes grew wide. That's a lot. It sure is. She giggled and closed her eyes. A few minutes later, she was asleep. I sat beside her bed and watched her peaceful face. For years I had believed that success meant earning my family's approval. I thought if I worked harder, gave more, and sacrificed enough, they would finally accept us. I was wrong. Real success was right here. A brave little girl. A safe home. A life built on love instead of appearances. Some people spend their whole lives searching for what truly matters. Looking at Lily, I finally knew. I already had it. And no amount of money, status, or family approval could ever be worth more than the love between a mother and her daughter. At the family dinner, Catherine heard something that hurt her more than anything else. Some family members said that Lily should live in a special care home. They thought Lily's medical needs and differences made the family look bad. They worried that people would talk about the Henderson family in a negative way. Vanessa tried to explain. Vanessa is upset too, someone said. She has her own problems right now. Catherine took a slow breath. I don't care, she said calmly. Her voice was not loud. She did not yell. But everyone could hear the pain in her words. For 4 years, I have taken care of everyone's problems, Catherine said. I have helped this family again and again while raising Lily all by myself. She looked around the room. Lily needs special medical care every day. I have spent years helping her, taking her to doctors, staying with her in hospitals, and making sure she has everything she needs. Catherine continued. At the same time, I helped all of you. I paid bills. I solved emergencies. I gave money whenever someone needed help. Her eyes filled with sadness. And then I sat at this table and listened while 20 people talked about whether my daughter was a burden. The room became very quiet. Later, Catherine and Lily returned to their hotel room. The room was peaceful. Lily had woken up and was coloring in her activity book. She was drawing flowers and smiling. She had no idea how much her mother was hurting inside. Catherine looked at her mother and spoke clearly. The bills will start arriving this week. Her mother looked confused. Catherine continued. Your imaging center wants payment within 30 days. If the bills are not paid, they stop helping patients. Then she talked about her father's medical care. Dad's heart specialist requires a large deposit every few months. She kept going. The estate taxes are due soon. Uncle Richard's heart doctor has not been paid for months. Aunt Sarah's medicine costs a lot every month. Everyone listened carefully. Before this moment, these bills were just numbers. Now they were real problems. Soon those bills would arrive in mailboxes. Soon people would have to find money to pay them. Catherine, please, her mother said nervously. You can't do this. Yes, I can, Catherine answered. The bank canceled all payment permissions this morning. Her mother stared in shock. Then Catherine heard another voice. It was her father. Put me on speakerphone. The phone clicked. Now everyone could hear him. You became wealthy and never told us, he said. His voice sounded disappointed. Catherine answered honestly. I didn't tell anyone because I knew exactly what would happen. What do you mean? Her father asked. The moment you learned I had money, Catherine said, I would stop being your daughter. The room was silent. I would become an ATM. Nobody spoke. Catherine continued. I wanted to help because I loved my family. I wanted my help to come from my heart. Her mother quickly interrupted. We love you. Catherine looked at Lily. Then she looked back at the phone. No, she said quietly. You loved the version of me that struggled. Her mother sounded confused. What does that mean? Catherine explained. You liked seeing me as the single mother who always needed help. The woman who made mistakes and faced challenges. She paused. That version of me fit your idea of who I should be. Nobody answered. But the successful version of me makes you uncomfortable. Lily looked up from her coloring book. She noticed her mother's serious voice. Catherine smiled gently at her daughter, so she would not worry. Then she continued talking. Things are changing now. Everyone waited. I have enrolled Lily in a wonderful school. Catherine smiled proudly. The school has teachers who understand children with special needs. She felt excited when she thought about Lily's future. We are moving into a bigger apartment near her treatment center. Then she added something important. I am also growing my company and focusing on my real family. Her father sounded upset. We are your real family. Catherine shook her head. You said my daughter hurts the family image. Her voice remained calm. That is not what family does. Nobody argued with her. Family protects each other. Then Ethan joined the conversation. His voice was angry. You are trying to force us to accept your choices. Catherine did not get angry. I am not forcing anyone to do anything. She folded her hands and continued. I am simply no longer paying for people who think my daughter is a problem. Her mother sounded frightened. We can't afford all those bills. Catherine remembered all the advice her family had given her over the years. Whenever she struggled, they always told her to figure things out herself. Now she repeated their own advice. Then you will have to make choices. What kind of choices? Her mother asked. You can use less expensive doctors. Catherine continued. You can sell things you don't need. She paused. You can apply for assistance programs. Those were the same things they had always told Catherine to do. Vanessa suddenly spoke. You are punishing us because of one family dinner. Catherine shook her head. No. She spoke slowly. This is not punishment. What is it then? Vanessa asked. It is called setting boundaries. Some people became quiet. Others became angry. Catherine did not change her mind. Then her brother asked a different question. How much money did your company sell for? Catherine answered immediately. That is none of your business. Her brother became silent. A few moments later, Uncle Richard joined the call. We are family, he said. Family helps each other. Catherine nodded. I agree. Then she added something important. For 4 years, I have been helping everyone. She opened a folder on her computer. I kept records. The family sounded surprised. What kind of records? Someone asked. Catherine answered. Every payment. She turned a page. Every emergency. Another page. Every loan. She looked at the list. And every loan that was never paid back. The line became silent. Nobody knew what to say. For the first time, everyone understood the truth. The daughter they often criticized had been helping them the entire time. The woman they thought needed help had actually been supporting them. Catherine had quietly become the foundation holding everything together. Without her, many things would start falling apart. Finally, her father spoke again. This time his voice was softer. Perhaps we were too harsh. Catherine listened. Lily is welcome at family gatherings. He continued. We will be more thoughtful. Catherine closed her eyes for a moment. Then she answered. I don't want fake acceptance. What do you mean? He asked. I want real respect. Her father sounded frustrated. That is what I am offering. Catherine shook her head. No. She looked at Lily's smiling face. You are offering tolerance because you now realize I have resources. Nobody answered. That is not respect. At that moment, Lily walked over holding her coloring page. Mommy, look. Catherine smiled immediately. The picture showed a beautiful garden. Many flowers were growing there. Some flowers were big. Some were small. Some were different colors. But all of them were growing together. Catherine hugged Lily tightly. Lily saw beauty where adults saw differences. Lily saw kindness where adults created divisions. Catherine wished more people could see the world the way Lily did. I have to go now, Catherine said into the phone. Lily and I have appointments today. Her mother sounded desperate. Please wait. Catherine stopped. Can we meet and talk? Her mother sounded close to tears. Catherine thought carefully. Maybe one day they could talk. But not today. Maybe someday. When? Her mother asked. When Lily and I are ready. Then Catherine added one final sentence. On our terms. After that, she ended the call. She turned off her phone completely. The room became quiet. For the first time in a long while, the silence felt peaceful. Lily climbed onto her mother's lap. Are we going home? She asked. Catherine kissed her forehead. We are going to our new home. Lily smiled. Our new home? Yes. Catherine smiled back. A place where we are wanted exactly as we are. A few days later, they moved. The new apartment was wonderful. It had 3 bedrooms. There was a special room for medical supplies. Lily's equipment no longer filled every corner of her bedroom. The building was welcoming and accessible. Outside was a playground. Many children there had different challenges. Some used wheelchairs. Some learned differently. Some communicated differently. Nobody stared. Nobody whispered. Nobody made anyone feel strange. Children simply played together. Lily quickly made friends. Catherine watched her laugh and run around. For the first time in years, she felt hopeful. During the next several days, messages filled her phone. Ethan sent angry texts. He talked about family loyalty. Catherine's mother sent worried messages about unpaid bills. Vanessa sent messages suggesting everyone should forget the argument. But Catherine had already made her choice. She had spent years helping people who rarely appreciated her. She had spent years trying to earn acceptance. Now she wanted something better. She wanted peace. Most of all, she wanted a better future for Lily. Lily deserved a mother who stood up for her. Lily deserved a home where she felt safe. Lily deserved people who celebrated her instead of judging her. As time passed, changes began happening. The estate would probably need to be sold. Medical expenses became harder for the family to manage. Some relatives had to choose cheaper options. Others had to make difficult decisions. These were the same kinds of choices Catherine had faced for years. The difference was that Catherine had faced them alone. Nobody had quietly paid her bills. Nobody had secretly rescued her. She had worked through every challenge by herself. Now the rest of the family would learn what that felt like. Catherine packed the last box from the hotel. Then she and Lily drove to their new apartment. As they traveled across town, her phone buzzed again. Messages continued arriving. The hospital reported overdue payments. The estate company reported that assistance had ended. The pharmacy requested updated payment information. The consequences were beginning. But this time, they were not Catherine's responsibility. She had carried those burdens for years. Now she was finally free. Lily hummed a happy song from the back seat. Catherine listened and smiled. For years she had worried about what her family thought. She had worked hard to earn their approval. She had tried to fit into their expectations. But none of it had brought her happiness. Now she understood something important. Other people's approval was not worth sacrificing her peace. Respecting herself mattered more. Protecting her daughter mattered more. Building a happy future mattered more. As they arrived at their new apartment, Catherine felt lighter than she had in years. The future was uncertain. There would still be challenges. There would still be hard days. But there would also be love. There would be peace. There would be respect. Most importantly, Lily would grow up knowing she was valuable exactly as she was. She would learn that being different was not something to hide. She would learn that kindness is stronger than judgment. And she would learn that real family is made of people who love you for who you are, not for what they can get from you. As for the Henderson family image, Catherine no longer worried about it. It was not her job anymore. Her job was much more important. To love Lily. To protect Lily. And to build a life where both of them could grow, smile, and be happy together.
अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ गए जो दिन सहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा बेसर्द लगता है दिल का हर एक कोना अब बहुत ही दूर दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं। ये जो दिन सुहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं। तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा सर्द लगता है। दिल का हर एक कोना बहुत ही दर्द भरता है। मेरे साए भी मुझसे अब जुदा होने को कहते हैं। तुझे खोने की राहों में ये आंसू बहने लगते हैं। कहाँ जाऊं कहाँ ढूंढूं मेरा वो साजो सामा तो मेरी हर एक तमन्ना तू। मेरी रूह का मका तू। लकीरों में नहीं लिखा जो तुमने ख्वाब देखा था। वफा की इस कहानी में फकत एक गम ही लिखा था। सितारों से भी पूछता है पता तेरा कहाँ होगा, मगर खामोश है दुनिया कहाँ मेरा जहाँ होगा। बस एक बार मुड़ के देख ले मेरी बेबसी की सूरत। मुझे है आज भी तेरी वफा की सख्त जरूरत। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर, दर्द का असर।